Start recording. Okay, we'll start at three, two, one. Hi, friends. So today we're gonna try something new. I always talk about supporting local and promoting local people. So why not start today with our guest Vanessa Garza, who's Studio Nez, who goes by the name of Nez, who has her first solo show opening soon in November. So I thought it would be great to talk to her about her journey as an artist, how she got to this point, and again, just support local people from the city. So Vanessa, thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry, yeah, Nez, I'm sorry. If you want to, thank you for
Yeah,
your
no,
time.
thank you for having me.
If you want to do like a quick summary of who you are, and then what you do for those that don't are not familiar with you.
Yeah, so I'm primarily like a character-based artist from Chicago. So I do murals, illustration, kind of just any form that my character takes on. I really like to just expand on that. So in short, that's what I do.
Okay, and then how did you know that this was something that you wanted to do? As you're growing up, you're always like everybody goes through phases of want to do this or want to do that. But how did you know that being a painter, a creative like this was your goal?
Yeah, I feel like I've always like been into art since I was like 2 years old, always drawing. But it wasn't until recently, like around 2020, that I started noticing like a lot of like Chicago mural artists who had like their own signature character.
Mhm.
And I just like was like, I really want to do like one of my own. So it took a while, but eventually like when I came up with this character, it just kind of stuck
Right,
and I
and then
just keep doing it.
I'm sorry. The character, I've seen it a lot. It's like a cute little it's like it takes different forms. Sometimes it's like a milk carton, sometimes it's cereal box. How did that character come to you? Like, what was like the one day where like this is what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me about the backstory to the cereal box specifically, and I don't really have anything specific. It just kind of called out to me. I do think like the eyes, like people have said, it kind of reminds them of me because they say I have big eyes and the character does too. So it just kind of connected more with like my art style. And then usually like if a business reaches out to me and they have like a specific thing that they're known for, like a pizza shop, they want me to do like a pizza slice that looks like the characters that I draw, it sort of kind of reinvents itself. But yeah, the box is like my main thing.
Amazing, and it's a cute box. I mean, I've
Mhm.
seen it a lot. I've seen like the artwork, the coloring book. It's very cool, and it's something like every artist has that specific character that they're known for. So that's pretty cool. And you did talk about working for like a a restaurant. So as you were building your career, what was that first collaboration that you had that made you think like, wow, people are actually paying attention to the stuff that I'm doing?
I think it probably was like the first project I did. I got pretty lucky because I painted a mural at Project Logan, which doesn't exist anymore, but it used to be like a big collaborative wall where they'd switch up the art like every month.
Yeah,
And they took a chance on my art, even though I've never like painted large scale before. And like just seeing like the families and the kids just like complimenting it and like being excited over it, like
right.
I think that's when I realized like I could probably expand on illustrating from paper and like doing large scale works.
Mhm. And then that's the thing too. It's like when you are starting off, you kind of always like either doubt yourself or you're not so sure. So was there any like specific person or like you kind of just said like these families that were like complimenting you, but was there anyone that helped you or supported you, like told you that you have something here and you should keep going for it?
I think mostly it was just there's specific artists that are very similar style in the city. And I think for me it was
Mhm.
like as soon as I felt like validated in that like small group of people or I would introduce myself to them and they would already know like my art style, that would always surprise me.
Mhm.
So like big ones like Scent Rock, Blake Jones, those come to mind and just like being able to like be in art shows within the same lineup as them, like that kind of like validated it towards me, to feel like I should keep going with it.
Nice, nice. And you mentioned Sun Rock, and I know recently you all had like a show that was like sponsored by Walmart, which is kind of cool because especially like a brand like that, like working with graffiti artists. I mean, how was that like, and how did that come about?
Yeah, it was definitely surprising to see like it was just a nice feeling that like Walmart was able to like dial in on like Chicago-based artists, not only that like Hispanic artists,
Mhm.
and just kind of like highlight what we're doing in the city. And just like letting us share like our own personal stories. And we got to like work with a group of like younger high school kids and teach them like art, personal techniques of artwork. So yeah, it was really nice.
That's awesome. I mean, especially working with younger kids, because I mean, um, being, a minority, we always try to find someone that looks like us to that's doing something. So that's our like our lighthouse, I guess you could say that. That's the direction we want to go.
Mhm.
So it's great to know that that you're doing something like that, and then people see you, and hopefully, you know, will follow that same path. I mean, they might not follow do the same characters, but hopefully they'll do something along that way, which is always great. Um, I know you did something with you did another collaboration with the Windy City Bulls, like a hat. Like, how did that come about too?
Yeah, that was in collaboration with All Star Press, the gallery in Chicago.
Okay.
And so this is like the sixth season, so he's been curating it for a while. So yeah, it was the first one for the Windy City Bulls though, since usually it's for the Chicago Bulls.
Mhm.
So to have like a subsection of them like try out the hat series and just kind of like expand on the collaboration was really nice. It was a lot though. I mean, like being on the big screen and everything for someone that like is kind of introverted, like me, it was
Uh,
tough, but it was a fun experience.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you kind of talked about your introvertness, and I know that you did a podcast talking about being bipolar. I think it's great to put it out there because number one, like it breaks the stigma because a lot of people always have something that they're afraid to talk about and afraid to like see like what would happen once they put it out there. But also
Mhm.
by doing that too, I mean, there's probably other artists out there who have something, and by seeing that you're the first one to talk about it or one of the ones that talk about it, it helps them saying that I shouldn't be afraid of this. I should let other people know because it might help somebody. So has talking about it, has anyone come up to you saying like that they're like in the same have the same condition, or other people like say thank you for putting this out because I have so and so, and now I can talk about it freely.
Yeah, it really surprised me. There was a couple of artists who DM'd me who like I felt like I was close to and I never knew that they had it too.
uh
Or people have been following me for a while, like saying that they appreciated me talking about it and my experiences with it. But I think for the most part, I think it just kind of explained the way that I am to people. I am like more introverted, and sometimes like there's a deeper reason why someone's introverted. So it's just good to like call out like the different reasons behind the way that people act.
mhm.
Yeah, and everyone has something. So I think that if you share it, better to you, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, and then again too, when it comes to like working with younger kids, you know, I've obviously because I work in a school, so I see like so many different attitudes all day, and it's always because like there's something there. But by knowing that people they look up to or can talk about it freely, can help them a lot. So
Right.
so thank you very much for doing that. There's so you do the reason we're talking today is because you have your first solo show coming out. Now again, like with everything else, like how did this come about and how does it feel to have like a show that's just focusing on you and your work?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a long time coming. I used to have a gallery space, named Studio Nez, like after my Instagram handle.
Uh-huh.
And I hosted shows like every month for 2 years, and it was always like group shows or shows focusing on the solos for other artists. So I kind of like always knew like I want to have my own, but I've always wanted the space to be for somebody else and giving them a platform.
Mhm.
So the way that this one came about was kind of weird. I was on Facebook Marketplace and I wanted to sell like some of my old works that haven't been selling.
Okay.
And I found a collector, and when he came to pick it up, I found out that he had his own gallery in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and so it was kind of like through you would never think like you'd meet like your next like solo from Marketplace, but that's how I found him.
Right.
And his space is really beautiful in Bridgeport. Really historic building, very nice.
Mm.
And so yeah, I'm excited.
Exciting. And then what can we see when we go to your exhibit? What other than like I know you have a vinyl figure out too. So
Right.
like what else can we see when we get there?
Aside from like the paintings, I'm having like a lot of prints, a whole sticker collection, and I'm doing like a limited edition t-shirt.
Okay.
Maybe a couple other things, but we are kind of like on like 3 weeks until the show, so I'm trying not to overwhelm myself, but it's gonna be like a lot, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's completely awesome. I mean, like it's like you said, from going from being a host, I guess you say, of galleries to now having your own, it's a huge jump, and it's also a cool jump because I mean, a lot of people always dream about doing something, but sometimes like there's always that one thing that holds them back that they don't know if they're good enough. But it
Mhm.
seems like you got that support from like the artists out in the community, so that's great to have. Um, I wanted to talk to you. I don't know, have you ever heard of the rapper Aesop Rock?
Yeah.
Because seeing your story and like basically with a lot of artists reminds me of the song No Regrets. Have you ever heard that song? Do you remember that
Yeah.
song?
Hmm.
So, I mean, for those that don't know, it's about a little girl that every day she spends just drawing because that's her dream. So seeing you and like again, seeing all the other artists out there that are doing this, it always makes me feel good that know people that are following their dreams and they're doing like great things. So it's congratulations for everything that's coming up for you. After I mean I know I'm thinking too much far ahead, but like after the solo show, like what do you have in the works or what do you have planned? Or is there anything, or after the show, are you just gonna like take time off and just recalibrate and see what's next to do?
Yeah, I mean, generally, a lot of like the work I do comes from like Instagram DMs. So a lot of my collaborations just come from businesses asking me to do like murals or commissions. So I honestly just always play it by ear. Even the vinyl toy was something that they reached out about. So you kind of like never know, which is like the fun part about it. But I'm always just like painting and just like displaying new works on Instagram. So that's definitely what I'm just gonna continue to do.
Nice, nice. Okay, so if anyone wants to see your art, can you repeat your Instagram handle again?
Yeah, so it's studio__Nez, and then my website studionez.com.
So friends, definitely check out her work. I mean, a lot of it, I love it because it's so cute and it's just like so homely, and I like seeing stuff like that because it's like you always go walk around the city and there's so many great things to look at, but then like if you're having like like a bad day or something and just see the little characters, it makes you smile, and then that's
Yeah.
that takes on a whole new world. So thank you very much for your time today. I'm wishing you you have a good turnout for your solo show. All the information we'll put in our in the description section. So if you didn't catch it, or if you didn't hear it, read that. But again, thank you very much for your time today, Inez, and wishing you much success with all your work.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me end this. All right. But yeah, thank you very much.